This is the beginning of week 2 of this stay-at-home directive here in California. So far, it's okay. It doesn't mean we must stay inside the house. I have a yard. I can work out there alone and keep myself safe. I can go for a bike ride. I can sit outside on my deck and read or use my laptop computer when the weather is nice. It's supposed to rain today. No one gets close enough to me to possibly pass an infection, and if they have one, that is, and I could be a carrier and not know it, so they're safe too. I don't get close enough to them to infect them if I have this disease. I can be a carrier. But I don't know how much to reveal. When I was a kid, if anyone in the family had strep throat, Mom would haul me into the doctor and have me tested too. She worked for a doctor, so all this stuff was free. And I would usually test positive and have to take penicillin for 10 days. I'm like, why do I got to take penicillin? I don't have strep throat. Because you do have strep throat, you just don't have a sore throat. So the doctor told me that I'm a carrier, and I probably get over it myself without the need for penicillin. But anyways, I could be a carrier for this COVID-19. I don't know. So I stay away from them, and they stay away from me. And staying at home is okay for me. I don't feel like I'm under house arrest. So I'm okay. Let's see. What are the latest stats in this area? According to the local news this morning, I looked it up, there are now 24 confirmed infections here in Santa Barbara County. 24 isn't bad. Hopefully we can keep that from getting too high before it starts going back down again. I'm not afraid because what I'm doing what I need to do to stay safe. I did some shopping this week. I went to one store that set up a shopping time exclusively for seniors early in the day. And I went there. Theirs was 7:30 to 8 o'clock. So I went there first. I kind of did a loop. Got that shopping done. Went over to Albertsons. I bought a few things there. Basically, you go to whatever store has what you need because so many stores are out of certain things. Costco did the same thing this week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have a shopping time for seniors from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning. So after I shopped at the second store, I drove by Costco to see what they had there. It was 7:45 in the morning, 15 minutes before the store was even opened. And there was a huge line snaking back and forth through the parking lot. There had to be at least a couple hundred people there, and I decided I'm not gonna go shopping at Costco. I didn't stop. I just went home. So I think Costco is off limits for me until this pandemic is over. It's just eventually people are gonna basically run out of money for hoarding, or they're gonna have everything they need, or the pandemic is gonna just eventually wind back down again. Life will settle down. Shopping will settle down. Now, because I'm here at home, I'm finding ways to keep myself busy. I mentioned in my previous vlog, one of my projects, I bought 6 of these shirts. I'm wearing one right now at Costco. I bought it quite a while ago. This is a good winter shirt. It's nice and warm. But I noticed the buttons were falling off. They weren't securely on. I was out with a friend. This was back before we had to stay home. I lost a button. But fortunately, I saw it fall off, and I was able to pick it up, put it in my pocket, and put it back on. So one of my projects was I went through all of those 6 shirts, and I call it nailing down. I nailed down all the buttons to keep them from falling off. I like these shirts. They're excellent shirts. They're comfortable. They're warm. They're baggy. I like baggy clothes. They're not figure enhancing, but that's okay because I don't have a figure that benefits from enhancing. All right, so now all those shirts are ready to wear without any fear of the buttons falling off. I even secured, you know how some shirts have a couple of spare buttons attached down toward the bottom of the front in case you lose one, you can You can use one of those spares. I even secured those buttons down so I wouldn't lose those. How am I dealing with this enforced social isolation? It's been one thing was a challenge. I have a group of friends with whom I met at a restaurant every other Saturday to discuss the news. And I really enjoyed it. Partly was because I like to talk about the news, and I enjoy what they're picking up on the news as well. And partly was because I could bicycle down there. It's down in the city, but it was close enough that I could bike down there. It took about 45 minutes to get there by bicycle. I don't bike too fast. It was a 15 and a half miles round trip. So a little more than 7 miles each way. So to be honest, most of the time we talked about Trump, and we really said nice things about him. But hey, this is California. That's another matter. I won't go into that here. I did it last time. Well, those meetings now are no longer possible because we're supposed to stay at home now. We are under this directive to stay home. All of California is affected. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, directed this. So how can we stay connected? That was an issue. We talked about this through emails. Well, I'm going to tell you. One of the guys has a business, and he has a sort of a center here in the USA. It's actually his office. And he has an office in India, and he used to fly back and forth, but that's out now too. He conducts his business over the internet, in video, doing something similar to Skype, but it's not Skype, but it works the same as Skype. Now, I have to admit, I have some really large holes in my knowledge of computers. You can't know everything, right? I mean, I build my own computers, and they're beauties, if expensive. I'll tell you the truth about them. Hopefully you're sitting down. I built two. I always build two for reasons I won't go into at this time. Maybe that's good for another time. But you don't save money when building your own computer. It's not like cooking. Cook your own food at home and you'll save a lot of money compared to restaurant prices, right? However, when you build your own computers, you get what you want. I spent $6,000 building these two computers, and that's each. Yes, $12,000 total. That's way too much money. I understand that. But I got what I wanted because, you see, I do this video work, so I wanted something for processing videos. Now, fine as far as building computers, but I'm not very knowledgeable about software. I know how to use the software that I need, but I know nothing about things like Skype or similar app. So when my friends wanted to meet by video conferencing, I was out in left field. I didn't know what they were talking about. Well, thankfully, one of the guys made it really easy. And surprisingly, I already had what I needed. Well, almost everything. He recommended using Chrome, the Chrome web browser. I didn't have it, but it's free. And we all like free stuff, right? It's free to download. And what he did was he set up something on a website named whereby.com. I'll put the URL down there if I remember. Whereby.com. I don't know anything about it other than it works and it's free to use. He set it up for us. I have a Logitech webcam. That wasn't free, but I already had that. It plugs into a USB port, and I never knew this. It has its own microphone. Right in the webcam, it has its own microphone. So it was just a matter of going onto that website, positioning my camera in front of me, and within a matter of minutes, I was up and running, meeting with my friends on the computer. And what happens is each person, there can be a maximum of 4, and that's how many are in our group. They each appear in a window with their name at the bottom. And we can talk through the microphone. We can hear each other talk. We can open up a chat screen if we need to chat. One person can show his computer screen if he wants to show us something on the internet. But anyways, the thing is, it was a fantastic experience. It felt good being able to connect with these people that I know and carry on a conversation with them. I didn't feel socially isolated. So the point behind it all is if you're not doing this, I highly recommend it for avoiding loneliness and social isolation. I wish I could show you how to set it up, but I can't. I don't know how it works, but I do know that once it's set up, it's really easy to use, and supposedly it's really easy to set up. So use that to meet with your friends. Okay. Something else. I did this yesterday. This is sort of like, is this like watching a horror movie with all the lights turned off in a strange house? I watched the movie Contagion this week. From what I know, a lot of people are watching it now because of this pandemic. Well, maybe we enjoy being scared out of our skin. I couldn't watch the whole thing in all one sitting. I had to just kind of stop it and go do something else for a little bit and then come back and watch some more. To me, it was a really scary movie. And because so much of the movie matched what we're going through right now. They even mentioned bats. Well, thankfully, there are no riots, no looting in the streets of the stores that are going on here, like in the movie. I mean, they got to make it dramatic. Some of the scenes showed like devastation. That's not going on. But there is a lot of similarity between that movie and this COVID-19 pandemic. If anything, the movie made me a little more conscientious about my hands. I'm trying not to touch my face as much as I do without even thinking about it. I wash my hands more often. When I went shopping earlier this week, I wore disposable gloves. And as soon as I got home, I discarded the gloves and I still wash my hands with plenty of soap and water. That's how careful I'm trying to be. I do have one gnawing concern that bothers me. I'm not sure what to do about it. I may have already resolved it. I don't know. I have a neighbor who has tremors. She has Parkinson's disease. And at the beginning of each month, I go over there and I write her checks for her. I think she can do it herself, but she likes the attention. Whatever, right? The problem is she doesn't stay home. She goes out several times a day. I see her going to the store. They go out, she and her son, they go out digging through trash cans and dumpsters for bottles and cans. She brings them home and redeems them when she has enough, a pile of them. Okay, I get it. She needs the money. But now I'm scared to go over there. And her son, he's got Down syndrome. I know he's not conscientious about washing his hands, and he'll sometimes give me a hug. Oh, they're going to kill me. Or, like I said earlier, I could be a carrier, and I could kill her. She's something like 89, 87 years old. See, that place could be a cesspit of contagious diseases. Now, okay, maybe I'm overreacting. I know it, but I just don't want to take any chances. So I told her this week I couldn't write her checks anymore until this pandemic is over. She wasn't happy. And I feel bad, but I do think it was the right thing to do, both for her sake and mostly for mine. Sometimes we need to make some difficult or unpleasant decisions. So anyways, that's the latest here in Southern California. The good news is the rain. We're still a little behind where we should be this time of year. We've gotten 83% of our normal to date rainfall. The reservoir is 73% capacity. The reservoir upstream from our reservoir, that one is 100% full. So any water that spills over the dam flows down into our reservoir. So I doubt they're going to hit us with any kind of restrictions on water usage this year. The drought appears to be staying away for a while. Anyways, as for me, I have plenty of food in the freezer. Later on, I'll be making a big pot of clam chowder today, and then I'll let that cool down, and then I'll freeze it in portions. I'll portion it in little pouches, and I'll freeze that for later. So I'm doing okay. As long as I can chat with my friends on the internet, I don't feel isolated. Hopefully, you are doing well too. This pandemic is a global thing, and anyone, anywhere who can see this vlog could be at risk. So stay safe and bye for now.